All right, so we're going to talk about the deadlift today. This is probably my most favorite lift. I love this lift for what it does for your body, what it does for functional life and everything that you do and what you need to apply it to in regular daily life. This is a great lift. Could also be fairly dangerous. I always say that up front. So make sure that you take your time, that you don't throw a whole lot of weight, that you do the progressive overload program that we have for you, that you're slowly building it up, that you're taking a check and an inventory of your body, how's your back feel, and if you're feeling something that you stop immediately. But the deadlift is, I believe, the best lift that you could do for yourself. So we got Kelly here. Coach Kelly set up to start doing the deadlift. One of the things you might have noticed is she's in her sock. So deadlifting barefoot without having any drop in any shoe is the best way to go. We're trying to stay back in our deadlift, and anything that takes us forward is going to be a detriment to our lift. So either socks, some people like to do it in their chucks, some people like to do it in competitions. I wear wrestling shoes. So however you do, just make sure that whatever the footwear you're wearing has very little absorption in it, and it's also very neutral or flat. That will be your best bet. If you're allowed in your gym to go in socks, fantastic, do it in your socks. All right, so first thing she does when we step up, now this is gonna be the conventional deadlift that we're learning first. She's gonna step up with her feet hip width, feet right up underneath her hip. So it's gonna be a very narrow stance when you start to deadlift. She's gonna put her shins about 2 inches up off the bar, right from there. And from here, what she's going to do, and the first thing she's going to do, is she's going to reach straight down and grab the bar with a mixed grip. A mixed grip is one hand over, one hand under. You can alternate back and forth what hand you do. But in the deadlift, the arms are just straps or chains. They don't really do any lifting, they don't do any bending. They're just there really to hold the weight. So as she reaches down, her hands slide right up underneath her shoulders. She'll slide right down, and her hands will be placed just outside of her shins. Once you know your mark on the bar, you can just reach down and grab that. From there, what she does, go straight leg again for me. Reach straight down. Bar's still 2 inches up off her shin. What she does from here is she drops her butt and lifts her chest tall until her shins hit the bar. Bam, right there. So now we got a nice flat back. And again, you can see we got a little hip hinge action going. Her shins are perpendicular, fairly perpendicular. We want to have a perpendicular shin angle. From here, you see that the bar is up over, should be over her traps, or not her traps, her scapula, right there. And we should be able to see what looks like a play body here. Hips, shoulders above hips, hips above knees. And from here, she's going to, after she does that and gets back in that position, she's going to push her feet through the ground, arms stay nice and tight, and the bar is going to drag right up her shins, right up her thighs, and she comes into a lockdown position right there. So she drives, push her feet through the floor. When the bar hits her knee, she pushes her hips through. Bar stays really close to her the whole time. And then on the way down, she lets it slide down her thighs, back down her shins, all the while still doing a really good hip hinge. Watch her hip hinge, butt back, and now she's ready for a second lift. Push her feet through the floor, hips through, shoulders stay depressed. There's no shrugging in there. There's no jerking the weight up. Again, no bending of the bar. One of the things that you want to remember in the deadlift is you have to engage your lats before you start to lift. And one way to do it, or a couple different cues, is if you think about bending the bar out this way, that will keep or engage the lats. Another way to do it is to, if I was going to go to tickle Kelly, I'd say don't let me tickle your armpits, and that also is a cue for her to lock in so I can't get in there. That locks in the lats, which doesn't allow the bar to float out on you. Again, very, very important that the bar stays super close to you when you do this lift. The further it gets away from you, the more pressure and the more strain you're going to put on that low back. So keep it really tight to you. Don't let the bar float out, because you're not engaging your lats. So she engages her lats, drops her butt, lifts her chest, engages her lats, pushes feet through the floor, chest up, and just like in the squat, we're forcing our knees out. She's forcing her knees out through the whole lift, all while pushing her feet through the floor and coming up. In this lift, again, you're coming up, big breath into your stomach before you start to lift at the bottom. Right from here. You can let it out when you get at the top. Slide down your thighs, and slide down your shins. That is the conventional deadlift. The sumo deadlift. Should we turn this bar? Sumo deadlift's a little bit different. Really depends on the your anthropometry of your body. Some people are more suited to do a sumo deadlift as to opposed to a conventional deadlift just by the measurements of their body, how long their torso is, how long their legs are, arms, etc. But you might find one better for you. Sumo deadlift's a little bit better, works your hips a little bit more. Conventional gets into your low back a little bit more. So really just kind of play it by ear, see which one you like to do. Both are great. So in the sumo deadlift, she's going to go a little bit wider. Toes are going to come out a little bit further. But for the most part, everything really stays the exact same. And it's, again, it's that hip hinge. It's a good hip hinge. Although in this sumo, her chest will be a little bit taller, and she's going to come down. Hands are going to fall again, right up underneath her shoulders, which this time, because her legs are wider, her hands will fall in between her legs as opposed to outside her legs right there. But again, looking for a good perpendicular shin angle, chest is tall, bar still stays super close to the body, and then you just drive up from there. Pushing your feet through the ground and bringing your hips through when the bar hits your knees. And you always want to squeeze your butt at the top. At the top of either whether the sumo or the conventional, it is not necessary to fully lean back and hyperextend the back. Just coming up to neutral and just letting the shoulders relax is perfectly fine.
Little disclaimer, again, the deadlift is a very form restrictive lift. Form is super crucial. If you have slip discs, if you have any past injuries, if you have anything going on, maybe we do a bent over row instead until you feel strong enough. And that's something that we will work on as your coaches. So if you are not ready or comfortable to do it, listen to your body. And there are other things we can do, which we will show you later.